Y'all ever watch the hood rat version of Finding Nemo? It's called Waist Deep. Somewhere in LA, people are protesting about the gang violence in their community. Otis, also known as O2 because he makes women orgasm twice, works as a security officer. He receives a call from his cousin, Lucky, saying he can't pick up Junior, so O2 has to do it. O2 takes a gun, buys a toy, and then drives to the school to pick up his son. When the fine-ass O2 picks up Junior, he finds out his son got into a fight. He hands him the toy to play with, and he gets angry when he sees him playing with the gun. Not long after, Junior falls asleep, so O2 puts him in the backseat of the car. While stuck in traffic, a fine-ass woman named Coco offers him some suits for sale. O2 declines, so Coco gives him a flying kiss and walks away. Megan good down bad in this one. Just a bit later, an armed man pulls O2 out of the car and does a GTA move on him with Junior still in the back. O2 chases the car as fast as he can. It even causes an accident, and O2 gets stuck in a crossfire between fighting gangs. He fights back and kills a few men, and even manages to shoot the man who took his car. Unfortunately, the man gets away. O2 realizes that Coco had specifically targeted him. He chases her and threatens to make her gap tooth reappear if she doesn't say where the car will be taken. He says his son is still in the back. The two go to a chop shop where O2 steals a car he can use. A man named Rock, looking like a Rorschach ink blot test, sees Coco and thinks she's playing games with him again. He hits her, and O2 steps in to defend Coco. He's so angry he beats him up until he's down. Then O2 tells Coco to accompany him in looking for Junior. Coco insists she has to get her things back, because if she doesn't, P-Money, a gang leader, will kill her. O2 is pissed when he gets home, and he tells Lucky exactly what happened. "Lucky, flash us." "Who said that?" O2 says he can't go to the police because he's only been out on parole for a month. He reveals that he was in prison for 6 years, and that he got the job as a security guard because of the program for ex-cons. Then, they see his face on the news during the shootout on the road. He knows he has to find Junior before the police catch him. Meanwhile, Lucky is over at Big Meat's place. The gang leader is punishing someone to show how ruthless he can be if his people defy him. No more masturbate in hand. Lucky tells his cousin that Big Meat has Junior, and he wants O2 to pay $100,000 if he wants his son back. If he fails, he'll kill the boy. The game, aka Big Meat, really fell off. He in prison in real life now. O2 asks Coco to help him save Junior. She agrees to help if O2 promises to get rid of P-Money as well. Then she shares that P-Money and Big Meat's gangs have been fighting for a bigger territory, and with this, O2 comes up with a plan. With Coco's help, he gets inside one of Big Meat's stores. While Coco is distracting the Panda Express owner, O2 is stealing some money. Then he tells them that P-Money sent him. Later, he admits that he will get the two gangs to fight each other while they run away with their money. Then they go to P-Money's people, steal from them, tie them up, and say that Big Meat sent them to take revenge. During the ride, Coco admits that she has always been so poor that she had to eat cold SpaghettiOs. While hiding, O2 drives to Beverly Hills to avoid any of the warring gangs. They notice that a man is about to leave his house, so they break in as soon as the owner is gone. O2 even accidentally sets off the alarm while trying to get in. Suddenly, two police officers ring the doorbell, so Coco changes into a robe, looking all sexy and fine, saying she is the secretary of the owner. The big back Porky checks inside while Coco flirts with the other, even getting the man's number. He looking at her like he finna break her back bad. They leave after buying the story Coco made up. When the cops are gone, they count the money and discover they just have around $36,000. But Coco notices the keys in the bags, and they figure that those are keys for safety deposit boxes of different banks. The next day, they head to a bank, and O2 pretends he has to open a safety deposit box. Before they can ask him for more information, Coco walks in and causes a scene getting loud. When O2 finally gains access, the teller is confused because she knows he don't own the box. He points the gun at the teller and orders her to pack everything inside the bag. The manager tells Coco that it's a sweepstakes advertisement check and not an actual one. So the two head outside and hide in the cover of the protesters. One after the other, the two continue to make their way into different banks to rob the safety deposit boxes. O2 grabs Coco, faking being a hostage, and says he finna blow out her weave. Then Coco gives the worst seizure performance for a distraction in her shake-and-go wig. Very quickly, their faces make it on the local news. Lucky calls and O2 admits they don't have enough money yet, and they need to be selling some things to reach the $100,000 mark. Lucky wants in on the plan, so he keeps pressuring O2 to trust him. He promises to get him some buyers so they can get the funds they need. Right after the call, Lucky gets entangled in a new problem. A car comes up behind him, and some men ask him to pull over or they will shoot him dead. Meanwhile, the protests are still going on, but no one seems to notice what's happening to Lucky. So he obliges and is surprised to see Big Meat waiting for him inside the car. His name Big Meat, so I bet he got a big one. Big Meat has ordered him to sell some drugs and now he wants his money. But Lucky doesn't have any money and Big Meat is not taking any of his excuses. He gives Lucky a warning to pay him back as soon as possible, then says, "This is how we do." O2 tells Coco that when everything is over, he will take Junior away from that place. But Coco doesn't have a plan, though she dreams of living in El Lindo on the coast of Mexico. About to part ways, O2 takes one stolen necklace and gives it to Coco. Then Coco moves closer and kisses him. O2's fighting his own demons and resisting, but Coco keeps going until he finally gives in. Then they go waist deep in each other as if Junior is not about to die that night. When Big Meat hears about the contents of the safety deposit boxes being stolen, he orders his men to look for O2. O2 reveals that he stole some money from Big Meat before. He says they did a job back then, and Big Meat wanted to cut him short. So O2 took the money that was supposed to be his and hid it away. Big Meat found out about it, and he set up O2, which resulted in him getting locked up. O2 told his baby mama where he hid the money, but the baby mama left Junior at Grandma's house and took the money for herself, and O2 never heard from her again. When he got released, his son made him promise never to leave him again. Coco also shares that she used to have a son. He died after a stray bullet hit him when he was playing outside. Later that night, O2 meets up with Lucky and shows him the stolen goods. Lucky learns that it's worth around $200,000. Then he says he'll meet the buyers alone. O2 insists that it's important that they sell it as soon as possible because they'll be getting Junior in 2 hours. Then Lucky takes the things to Big Meat's hideout to pay for his debt. He starts bragging about how he went to Beverly Hills and robbed some houses. Suddenly, Big Meat hits him after recognizing the Rolex watch with his initials at the back. He knows it's from his safety deposit box, and he wants the rest of the stuff. So Lucky calls O2 to tell him he managed to sell the goods. He adds that he has also fixed a meetup with Big Meat for the exchange, and O2 should see them at a new location. O2 smells something is wrong, so he drops off Coco with a bag of money before he heads to meet Big Meat. However, Big Meat refuses to let the boy go unless O2 hands the bag of money first. So O2 throws the bag on the ground. Just as Junior runs to him, someone pulls the trigger and Lucky jumps in to save the boy. Unfortunately, Lucky gets shot in the chest. Gunshots are exchanged and O2 fights back to stay alive. In the end, only he and Big Meat stay standing, and they have agreed to face each other. But Big Meat has already used up all his bullets. So, O2 shoots him until he's dead. O2 knows Lucky is in very bad shape, so he wants to take him to the hospital. But Lucky refuses to be taken and insists that he wants to go wherever his cousin will go. He also apologizes, saying he didn't know that Big Meat wanted to kill O2. Coco tells O2 to pull over at a gas station so they can take care of the gunshot wound. Coco looks for some first aid kit, and as she does, news about her and O2 is flashed on the TV screen. The cashier recognizes her but tells her not to worry. He tries to holler at you, girl. Then Coco takes the first aid kit back to O2, and they try to take care of Lucky's wound the best they can. With Lucky in the passenger seat and Coco and Junior at the back, O2 drives as fast as he can closer to the border. However, he realizes that Lucky has already died beside him. He still tries to wake him up, resulting in the car swerving to the sides. Next thing they know, they are being chased by the Popo. Coco looks after Junior while O2 does his best to evade the police. The longer the chase gets, the more police cars show up to catch them. When he finds the chance, O2 pulls over in a parking area and steals another car. He orders Coco to take Junior and the money, then drive south while he distracts the authorities. Coco doesn't want to, but O2 knows that if they get caught, Junior will be taken from him. He tells Coco to call him back in 10 minutes so he knows they're safe. Then he says goodbye to his son and promises that he'll be back for him. When O2 gets back on the road, the chase continues. Coco continues to drive south, and as promised, she calls O2 in 10 minutes. She hears in the background how bad the situation is, but O2 from the Fast and Furious franchise. He asks about her dream travel destination. When O2 realizes he'll get cornered soon, he talks to Junior and promises to buy him a new toy horse. Then he finally confesses his love for Coco, and she does the same for him. The call ends, and O2 looks at his cousin one last time before he drives his car into the water. Sometime after that, Junior and Coco have found peace in El Lindo. Coco takes care of the boy, but she tells him that his father is already gone and will never come back. That poor Junior got kidnapped by Coco. He had a grandmother he could have stayed with. But luckily, while they take their regular stroll by the beach, they see a familiar face walking towards them. O2 is alive, and Junior and Coco run to him as they are finally reunited after everything that happened. This one of them hood movies that I loved watching growing up. What did you guys think of this one?
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.